What if I told you that the reality you see is just a fraction of what's truly possible? That your wildest dreams aren't out there waiting to happen, they already exist, just in a dimension you haven't tapped into yet? Most people live trapped in a cycle of cause and effect, thinking life happens to them. But here's the twist, life happens through you. Neville Goddard's teachings reveal a mind-blowing secret: the key to seeing the invisible world and thinking in 4D lies within you, waiting to be unlocked. Here's the catch: this isn't some woo-woo fantasy. Science, psychology, and ancient wisdom all agree, your mind is the ultimate creator. You don't need to chase your desires, you need to embody them. And yet, so many of us are stuck, frustrated by the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Why? Because we've been taught to look outward for solutions when the real power lies in shifting inward. The law of assumption, 4D consciousness, and imagination are tools most people overlook, but they're the very blueprint of creation. Curious? Good, because this is where things get interesting. You're about to uncover techniques that don't just tweak your mindset, they transform your entire reality. Ready to break free from limits, see the invisible, and finally step into the life you've been envisioning? Let's dive in. Imagination, your creative power. Imagination is more than daydreaming, it's a portal to a realm where the impossible becomes probable. Picture this: everything you see around you, your phone, the chair you're sitting on, even the city you live in, once existed only in someone's mind. That's the magic of seeing the invisible world. By embracing this creative power, you're not just observing life, you're shaping it, reaching into a 4D consciousness and manifestation that transcends the ordinary. After all, if your thoughts can birth skyscrapers and symphonies, what else might they bring to life? But here's the catch: imagination isn't just a playground, it's a blueprint for reality. Neville Goddard often taught that the unseen world is far more real than the one you can touch. It's not about waiting for proof, it's about becoming proof. The law of assumption reminds us that what you believe to be true must eventually materialize. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing, you nurture it with faith. That's how you manifest dreams into being. And don't worry, it's not about mastering some complicated ritual. Start with something simple. Close your eyes and imagine the life you want as if it's already yours. Feel it, smell it, live in it mentally. By doing this, you're creating an invisible thread between your present and your desired future. This thread, though unseen, is powerful, connecting you to the unseen forces of creation. Ready to dive deeper into this fascinating ability? Let's explore how you can live in the end and truly bring your desires to life. Living in the end state. Neville Goddard's most profound lesson. It's simple: act as if your wish is already fulfilled. This isn't about pretending or faking, it's about shifting your state of being. Think of it like putting on a costume. When you wear a doctor's coat, you feel a bit more professional, right? Living in the end is similar. You embody the version of yourself who already has what they desire. In doing so, you invite the invisible forces of the universe to align with that reality. Here's an everyday example: imagine you're manifesting a dream home. Instead of yearning for it, sit on your couch and mentally feel as though you're already in that house. Picture yourself cooking in its kitchen, lounging in its sunlit living room. Engage all your senses. This act bridges the gap between imagination and reality. It's not about wishing, it's about knowing. The law of assumption guarantees that the world mirrors your internal state, so why not assume the best? Still skeptical? Here's the thing: your brain doesn't differentiate between what's real and vividly imagined. Studies in neuroscience show that visualization triggers the same neural pathways as lived experiences. By living in the end, you're rewiring your mind and body to align with your desires. The trick is consistency. The more you mentally visit that future, the closer it gets. Ready to take it a step further? Let's unlock the power of shifting states of consciousness and see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Accessing 4D consciousness. Ever wonder if there's more to life than what meets the eye? Shifting your state of consciousness is like stepping into an elevator and pressing the button for a higher floor. Suddenly, you see life from an entirely different perspective. This shift isn't about escaping reality, it's about transcending it, tapping into 4D consciousness and manifestation. In this space, linear thinking dissolves, and you begin to understand how time, energy, and possibility are intertwined. It's where the invisible world starts to feel tangible. Think of your mind as a radio, constantly tuning into different frequencies. Most people are stuck on one station, unaware that countless others exist. To access the fourth dimension, you need to retune your focus. Neville Goddard believed this shift happens when you detach from the how and immerse yourself in the what. For instance, if you desire abundance, don't obsess over strategies or barriers. Instead, align yourself with the feeling of already having it. It's like dialing into a reality where your desires are already realized. Here's a practical exercise. Tonight, before falling asleep, close your eyes and imagine floating. Feel the weightlessness, the absence of limits. In this state, visualize your ideal life, not as something far away but as something you're living right now. The subconscious is most malleable when you're between wakefulness and sleep, making this a prime time for reprogramming. As you explore this practice, you'll find that shifting states of consciousness is less about effort and more about allowing. Ready to energize those desires with something even more potent? Let's talk about how feelings hold the key to your creations. Feelings drive manifestation. Think about the last time you felt pure joy. It probably lit you up from the inside out, right? That's the power of feeling. Neville Goddard taught that emotion is the engine behind manifestation. Imagination gets the ball rolling, but feeling gives it momentum. When you generate the emotions tied to your desires, you're not just dreaming, you're creating. Feeling is the secret that brings the invisible world into the tangible. Imagine wanting a new job. Visualizing the office or the paycheck is great, but here's the game changer. Feel the excitement of waking up and loving what you do. Feel the pride of telling friends about your role or the relief of financial security. That emotional charge amplifies your intentions, like plugging a lamp into an outlet, it lights up. Without this feeling, your manifestations remain dim, like unfulfilled sketches waiting for color. So, how do you summon those feelings? Start small. Close your eyes and focus on one desire. Ask yourself, how would I feel if this were true? Gratitude? Relief? Joy? Let that feeling wash over you, even if it's just for a moment. Studies in quantum physics hint that emotions create measurable energy shifts, affecting outcomes in the physical world. The more vividly you feel, the stronger the signal you send out. But what about those internal dialogues running in the background? Let's explore how those quiet conversations can rewire your subconscious for success. Reprogram with inner dialogue. Your inner voice, ever notice how much it talks? Those quiet musings and whispers running on repeat are more powerful than you think. Neville Goddard emphasized that your inner conversations are like seeds, silently sprouting into the reality you experience. If you're constantly telling yourself, I can't, or it's too hard, you're unconsciously building barriers. But flip the script, and those same whispers can become a bridge to your desires. Imagine you're stuck in a financial rut. Instead of replaying thoughts like, I'm broke, start saying, money flows to me effortlessly. At first, it might feel awkward, like trying on a new outfit, but stick with it. Those mental dialogues are your subconscious's instructions, and with repetition, they start to sink in. Neuroscience backs this up. Affirming positive beliefs rewires neural pathways, shaping new habits and perceptions over time. Here's a simple technique to try. Whenever you catch a negative inner conversation, pause and replace it. If your mind says, this won't work, counter with, it's already working. Do this consistently, especially during quiet moments like commuting or before bed. Think of your mind as a garden. What are you planting? The words you speak within create the world you live in. Once you master this, you're ready to fully harness the law of assumption and bring your vision to life. Master the law of assumption. The law of assumption is like the secret recipe for manifestation. You don't wait for life to show you proof, you create the proof by assuming it's already true. Neville Goddard described it as living with unwavering conviction that your desires are already yours. Think of it like wearing a new identity. You're not trying to become the person who has your dream life, you already are that person. This mindset is the bridge between the invisible and the physical. Here's an example. Imagine you want to improve your relationships. Instead of dwelling on past arguments or feelings of loneliness, assume you're already loved and valued. Visualize those warm conversations, heartfelt laughter, and supportive moments as if they're happening now. By embodying this state, you shift the energy around you, and people naturally respond to the version of you that feels whole and cherished. To apply this law, start small. Choose one specific desire and ask yourself, what would my life look like if this were already true? Then, step into that vision daily. Studies in psychology reveal that your brain is wired to seek consistency with what you believe about yourself. When your assumptions align with your desires, you reprogram your subconscious to attract experiences that match. This is where imagination, feeling, and inner conversations come together in a powerful way. Now, it's time to tie it all together, ready to see how all these tools unlock the key to thinking in 4D. So, now that you know how to access the invisible and think in 4 dimensions, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it sit on the sidelines, or will you use it to create the life you've been dreaming about? The truth is, nothing will change unless you take action. Start applying the principles of Neville Goddard, the power of imagination, the law of assumption, and shifting your state of consciousness, to rewire your reality. It's simpler than you think, but it requires consistency and belief. Imagine this. What if the only thing standing between you and your desires is your willingness to believe they're already yours? What would you do differently today if you knew that every thought, every feeling, and every inner conversation is shaping your future? It's time to embrace the possibility that your mind holds the key to the world you've been searching for. This isn't just about manifesting things, it's about stepping into your full potential as a creator of your reality. If you've made it this far, let us know what you think in the comments section below. Continue expanding your consciousness by watching the recommended video that you see on the screen right now.